Okay. And we're gonna do that. Okay, let's see. We're grabbing the NPC data right here at random, and then we're gonna determine, and we're gonna use that data we're gonna instantiate it. Let's see. If the NPC is valid, if the data is valid, instantiating CC. We can do that. Let's see. Let's see. Instance type NPC, I think, and data dot NPC data dot NPC scene dot instantiate. That's right, yeah. And the as NPC. Do I need to say the as if I type it? I don't know. We'll do probably, maybe. We'll do that. So then we're going to, with this in place, we'll do that here, just keep and then we'll say if that's valid, if that works, PC instance, we're going to yeah, we have to set up some things. So instantiated, set position, start padding, etc. Okay, so yeah, this is going to set position, set name, start padding, etc. And then we're going to do just that. NPC instance dot set position, no, dot global position is equal to off, which is up there. And then at the end, we're going to return this. Jesus Christ. Oh, we're going to return NPC instance. There we go. And that, I guess that should work. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We have to do we have to return null if we have to only return the instance if it actually is valid. So obviously it's there we go. Okay. Beautiful. So what's that position? And when are we doing this? I guess we can just kind of do it after the current scene's loaded. We could just, for now, we could just say spawn an NPC and a random NPC, and we could use that function here, and we could spawn it at like the position. What we could do is kind of as a world object get like we could just do export var NPC spawn. It's gonna be and typically you could make this like an array of different spawners, but for now I think we're just gonna spawn them at the door. So so that's going to be one position. So the way that we can kind of define that without hard coding it is we will just make that a node 3D, and we'll say the spawn point position of all NPCs. That's going to be at the door. So we're going to say spawn random NPC if NPC spawn, then we can say if NPC spawn is null, or, no, not is null, null, then push warning no NPC spawn set. This is just a precautionary thing like we did up there. We return, oh wait, it doesn't need to return null, it's just gonna return because it's void. I guess we would want to do that not in ready, because then it wouldn't, if we have stuff below here, it doesn't matter. For now, we'll just we'll do it a different. No, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do. We'll move it later. NPC spawn is. Oh yeah, sorry. We're gonna say so if it does exist. Then we're going to say spawn NPC at NPC spawn dot global position. Right? Yes. Okay. So now, in theory, now we can go to this here, our main singleton, our world thing here, and then this is where this data is, and we can add our NPCs. So we're gonna make this size 1, and we're gonna grab quick load. Okay, so we don't have anything yet that we've made. So we can change that, I believe. So these should be, I think, of type NPC. Oh, but it's saying, I'm sorry, we're loading data here. So I forgot how we are gonna make that. Oh, and no, I'm sorry, we did this wrong. We left some steps out. My bad. We're gonna say, because why did we do that? Yeah, no, we did that wrong, sorry. We're gonna say in here, we're gonna set that position, which I feel like we should just no, that wouldn't be stored in the data. So I guess we'll just we can change this if we want, but dot setup, and we'll pass along the NPC data there, and then we're gonna want to add this to the scene tree, which we are gonna have be. Where's our current scene thing that we did? Oh, it's down here. Whoopsie daisy. Current scene. Duh. I mean, that's obvious. That's obvious. We don't need to say that. So what we want to do is say, I don't really know why we're returning this, but we want to say right, current scene dot, oh well, we don't know that that's there. Let me not do this. I feel like because we're setting it up. Okay, we're instantiating it. We're setting it up, and then we gotta place it in the tree of the current scene. Okay, so we'll just do what we're doing here. Because this is our like little manager class thing. Right. Okay. NPC instance dot. No, I'm sorry. We do just do root dot get. I'm sorry. We do get tree dot root dot get child -1. This will get the first whatever scene we're in, and then we'll say add child And we should add it in like just for organization, not just at the root, but whatever. At child NPC instance, and that's that should be that. I guess. Man, I guess. Right? Why is it wrapping there? There. I guess it's just wants to. Okay. Oh, I did it. Did I do it? Did I do? Yeah. Okay. There we go. Now I can move this over here without it wrapping. Okay. So I might change this later, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna. I just like to add comments to everything, just as like little dividers built in. I don't know. I don't care. Okay. Root node get tree dot. Yeah, this is that whole thing we're doing just to track. Let's see. Store cache root cache current scene current game scene. Okay. So, well, okay, well, there's an issue here. There's a big issue here, is that I don't think I can, yeah, I can't assign this because it's within that scene. So we're gonna have to do this a different way. For now, just to test this, what I'm going to do is just say that, just spawn him in the center. We'll do that for now. And then I'll fix this. Vector 3.0. Right? Okay, and we'll move our guy. We'll move our guy out the way a little bit, if we can, if that makes sense. I don't like doing it like that, but we're just testing things. That's something I have to get over. Is that if something feels weird to do, it's like only temporary. And we'll be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I promise. This is me talking to myself every day. Okay. Did I knock my camera out the way? No, it's good. Okay. So. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this from in here. Duh. That's why. Okay. Yeah, duh. Of course. Of course. Okay, so. Okay, yeah, that's. Okay. So this needs to just be like get tree dot add get tree dot current scene dot add child, because it doesn't need to know what the tree is. It's just going to get it relative to the scene that we're calling this from. So then we'll say NPC instance here. That makes much more sense. I was like worried about, yeah, because I was doing it in a silly way. And honestly, I'm just going to get rid of, no, I won't get rid of this code. I don't know why I keep being hell-bent on doing that. I think that I just like that this is doing like one thing, but then this is kind of like, I'll move this back down here. We're gonna move this back down here for now. And then, okay, this is good. This is good. This is good. So now in our sandbox script, which I really got to rename these scripts. I don't like the fact that they're all capital. I don't know why I did that. It's not proper etiquette. Here we go. We're gonna rename this to sandbox, just like that. And then this is gonna be like that. And then yeah, okay, cool. And we don't need this class name thing here because it's not a global thing. But I did not know that at the time. So we've got a scene, and we were doing our groups thing, but this does not really, this isn't significant. I don't think in this, oh, actually no, yeah, it is. We can still use this. Yeah, we can definitely still use this. I mean, but also no, we're gonna be tracking it globally anyways. I really don't understand the use of this. It probably has a specific case. But for now, yeah, goodbye. We can add it later. So we're going to now say void ready. So this is once this scene loads. I'm sorry, not void ready. Function ready. The problem with knowing multiple programming languages, which sounds pretentious, but the problem with knowing multiple is that I get them mixed up all the time. I get the syntax mixed up, especially if I've been using one, because I'll use one for work, and then I'll hop in and use GD script, and I'll be like using C syntax, in which it's pretty close. It's like a nice, I really do like the syntax. It's just, it's a scripting language syntax versus like a programming language syntax, but it's also typed, which is interesting. You know, I like that it's typed. It helps. I really don't like anything that isn't typed. You know, even when I use Python, I try to use typed Python, which is pretty janky, but like it works enough. So what do we do? Whoops, whoa, good lord, my bad, man, my bad. Move this down here. What we'll do is, we're going to call, right, we're going to use that, we're gonna get our, we're gonna do an on ready, right? Yes. Right. Yeah, we're gonna get it as a child. I think the child thing, yeah, you grab like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rename this to NPC spawn. Boom. Okay. NPC spawn, and then I'm going to say const NPC spawn. Oops, I'm sorry. NPC spawn of type node3d is equal to NPC I don't like that it's not, what does this $sign thing do? I forget. Let's see. Oh no, yeah, here it is. There it is. Beautiful. That it does not like that. Isn't a constant. Okay, I understand. Hold on. I figured. Okay. Oh, sure. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, so we can just access it right here. We don't even need it. Wow. Okay. NPC spawn equal to spawn on a random NPC spawn. Now we're coding, guys. Let's just call it, yeah, NPC spawn position, and then this is going to be a vector 3, and that's not a vector 3, but that is get its position. I'm doing this in a very sing-songy way because I know that we're finally actually going to get something that is working. Well, I hope. And then we are going to call our world dot, yes, dude, yes, spawn, no. Was I supposed to make it static? Did I? Let me see here real quick. Let's look back at the docs on these singletons here. Creation of static functions, right? well, I guess I don't know if it'd be static exactly, but let's see. So we have, this isn't something, yeah, we really should separate this into its own, like, NPC manager class, actually. Probably, but I mean, I don't know, then what's the world thing for? I guess to just track the NPCs that are in the world? I mean, we could do that, but that doesn't really seem, that seems redundant. Right, class name world extends node. Here we go, function spawn NPC. Right. I don't think we make that. But I think that it doesn't. It doesn't know that it's. Let me just see if maybe it's just not coming up because yeah, I need to not like. Let's say world dot spawn lord NPC. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see if this works. Spawn position. Does it like that? Non-static, make an instance instead. Right, we can't make an instance of world. Unless, because it loads in with our main thing, so I mean technically that's an instance. I think it just doesn't see it as a singleton. So I guess, I guess this structure's interesting then. I like doing it like this. Oh man, I lost my little cool icon. Where'd it go? Icons are a little inconsistent, I see. So, as far as I'm aware now, that this... We could do it where they just load in order. That would kind of make sense. But we could also... Oh, I think it mentioned this. Yeah, sorry. Not this. We're gonna say, I think it's in here. Right. We're gonna come down here. Here, I think this is it. No. But I have a feeling it has to do with something like the whole like remote thing, because when we run this pops up in the little remote tab. Okay. Okay. How would we access? Let's see. Let me just Google this. Access child of global singleton, or we'll call it auto load singleton. GD script. Right, so it should already, just by virtue of what it is, we don't make an, do we make an I guess. Well, okay, would we do like that? That doesn't feel right. No, that doesn't feel right. Maybe it can't. Okay, maybe we would just say like main dot get child or something. That doesn't feel right either. Let's see. Oops. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see, I see. Right. Oh, maybe we have to access the root and then, I don't know. I think that we gotta just change this structure maybe. It just feels weird since it's a child of this like main thing. And like I like the idea that it's like a sibling. Can we access sibling? Oh, okay, well shit. Let's try it. Let's try it. Why am I thinking so much when we can just try it? Wait. Can't try it just yet. We're close. We gotta go to our world node here, in here, and within here, we gotta do this NPC data thing, which is a resource, which I guess is what we create out of these. Okay. Okay. We'll do this as a test here. We'll do that, and then we'll say wizard, and then the scene. Okay, and then it's a packed scene, and we can load the scene, which is this. Okay, wonderful. Okay, that's how it's done. All right, so then we do that, and then we don't. I don't think we do the spawn thing here. Yeah, we don't. So I gotta just remove that real quick. Bup. Doesn't matter. Okay. Lovely. Okay. We hit play and we see if it explodes. Class name isn't allowed in built-in scripts. That makes sense. Wait. Right. Built-in scripts. Yes. Okay. Whatever. That's fine. Yes. Okay. So that's wrong. This is wrong. Okay. So. Let's see. Oh, that's okay. That's how you do it. Nope, that's not how you do it. Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes, okay. So in main, what can we close this? In main, we would, I might change this. But we'll do it for now. We'll do an already, more world manager equals world. Okay, right? And then we can do the same thing for manager on ready var GUI manager. Yeah, I'm gonna change these names, but for now that's fine. And then we're gonna go back in here, and then from here we can oh no, wait, hold on. Okay. Yeah, I think that structure, this structure doesn't make a lot of sense. So we're gonna get rid of it. We're gonna just delete this. We'll just make, and we'll go back here, and we'll go back here, and we'll get rid of that, and we'll get rid of that. Okay. Right. And then we're gonna, but yeah. So I guess we don't load it as a scene. We just load it as a big object or something like that. If we want. Oh, but wait, then. No. Maybe. Shit. Oh no, yeah, because it loads it as a node, so it'll be fine. Okay, so what I'm gonna do instead, I'm gonna close out of this, I'm gonna close out of that, and go back here, and what we're gonna do is we're going to create a, I don't even think we need to create like a scene for it, because we'll see. Let's try this. So we'll just auto load, and then we'll I guess add it. I don't know. It should be fine. Right, because, okay, that's because we named it, so we can't name it in the actual script, I guess. We just have to say extends node, and then it'll become a global through. This doesn't seem correct, but we'll try it. Yeah, there it goes. So we'll put it there, and then we can, yeah, I don't think this is the way that we're gonna do it, but we'll see if this works. So we'll do that. Oh, but wait, no, because we can't, because now we can't define this. So we do have to make it into a singleton scene. Okay. But okay, let's think. Let's think for a second. Our world scene would be added in, I guess, with just the defaults. But it could still, we could still track things, I guess. We'll try it. We will try it. It's trial and error. Let's say we'll create a resource, or I'm sorry, we'll create a scene that inherits from world. Sorry, now I gotta go back in here and say class name world. Okay, extends node. Where it doesn't like that. Yes, that's because it's an auto load. So let's remove that from our auto loads. Delete that. That'll fix that once we reload it. Yeah, and then when we do that, we're going to create a scene that is inherits from world. Here we go. And it's just gonna be called world. Right? And then when we go in here, then we can define this pool here, which is gonna have this NPC data, which is going to be wizard, and then we're just to load. Sorry, we're gonna do quick load. Was that, there we go. So now we can go into here, project settings, select, we're gonna select a scene, singletons, world. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh. Okay. No, right, sorry. So I guess we do remove this. But then wait, we can't make that. Can we not make that scene then? How does it inherit from it? I'm so confused. Oh. Does that still work? No, I think it lost it. Right? No, maybe. Let's close this. Hit that. Oh no, okay, it's still got it. I don't know why it doesn't have its icon, but whatever. I think it's just because it maybe needs a class name to have an icon. I don't know. Anyways, project settings, select world. Now we can kind of see if this will work here. We can get rid of that. We can say world dot spawn. There it is. Okay, spawn NPC spawn position. Right. Okay, good lord. Okay. Then we can go here. Can move him back to where he was. Where's his position here? Where did I move you to? Where does it say? Where's your global transform? Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Gonna move you up. Boom. Okay. And well, we don't got our guy, but there could be like an explanation for that. NPC spawn. Let's look at world. Or do this. When we're doing this, we're saying get your currency agile, oh, I should maybe do like else. Good God. Else. Come on. Oh, does it not wanna, oh. Else. Maybe that, maybe we'll do, there we go. We're gonna do that and else. Then we can push a warning. Push warning could not spawn NPC. NPC, and then we could say NPC data dot NPC name. Okay. Okay. So let's do that. So just we know. Oh and yeah. Let me make sure that this is. Oh yeah, we messed it up. Okay. But this is good because this would have told us. But I could NPC data invalid for, and we're gonna say. Oh, well, we can't. We just say NPC data invalid. And then if we do this, oh, it doesn't say anything. Why? This is the big question. This is gonna drive me nuts. Let's just try to do it right here. Do this. Vaccine or quick load. Okay, right? Maybe? Nothing. Maybe we're just, let's see, print PC spawn position. Can I print a vector 3? Does that make sense? Can I do this? Will Joe let me? Maybe. So then we do that. Okay. Right. Right, that all makes sense. Okay. And then I'll put this above this here. Make sure this is in the proper place in the world. Maybe I'll raise it up. No, it doesn't matter. We put that there. We got this guy. What's wrong with him? Oh. He's not. He should be of type NPC. Change. Right? Is that gonna do that or no? It just doesn't do it. That's because it extends a node 3D for some reason. We need to get rid of the script. I don't know how. Detach script. Okay, there we go. There we go. That might be it. That might be what we were supposed to do. Okay. Oh, there he is. Oh my God. Here's our guy. He's in the floor. But we did it. Oh God. Okay. So. Do we like the way that we do this? Before we move on. I don't know. I think it's fine, I guess. Did my mouse die? Where's my mouse? Oh, right. One thing we need to do. So, how would we shift them? I guess they would have to have some sort of like collision detection or something at the once they enter the scene. Okay, so these are now siblings. Which again, it's kind of like, that's fine, but like if we had something above the world node, then how do we access that? I mean, we could access it globally, I guess, as like a sibling, but you would want it to be a parent of the world node. So like, even though it like works, we've got our guy spawned into the floor, we still want to kind of have this thing, like, it's fine for now. I'm trying to think of a scenario, like when we're thinking about like a run, we need something above this thing that manages NPCs. But can it just be loaded before it, like globally, like as an auto load? I just don't understand the difference, because this kind of documentation where it kind of tells us like where how to structure everything is right. Okay, yeah. So it's like keep everything within themselves, yada yada. Is this what I was referring to? Yes. So it says have an entry point where things begin, and so we have our entry point node, and then we want, and I also just kind of don't like, there's something, it feels where we want to, anyways. So it says follow the logic as it continues. It also serves as a bird's eye view for all other data and logic in the program. Right. Oh, well, okay. Well, and maybe in what it's referring to. Child. So it's not technically, I mean, nothing is technically a singleton in Godot anyways. But I feel like we could load one scene as our singleton rather than managing the order in which things load, and they could be sibling nodes, just kind of trying to mirror the structure that we're going to have with everything else, if that makes sense. So what does that mean? Yeah, because again, this is like, when it's recommending this, it's talking about a node 3D, which would be I believe, can it be, like, because I think that these, like, world, I think we, right now, oh no, it is extending node 3D. No, sorry, that's sandbox. Yeah, so it's extending node. And here it's talking about this game world thing. When changing levels, you can swap out children of the world node. Right. Oh. Okay. Oh, that was the structure it's talking about. Okay. That makes sense. So, we could move back to the kind of previous way of doing things, where in this case, we would have a like, it would just be like the world node would be instantiated as a child, so would the GUI, so would everything, and then we have this parent node that maintains the relationships between them. I think this would give us better control than doing everything, or it would be cleaner than doing everything individually and having to get them in, because it's like, okay, well, do you I mean, it's pretty obvious you would load a GUI, like a GUI instance like thing into the world, but what makes it, what if you had to, I'd rather it be sibling relationships. I'd not rather it be like that one has to go in front of the other and other. It creates a kind of, it does create a sibling relationship, but without a shared parent to connect them. So they have to talk, as if they're siblings, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't know. It's just that, like, let's do this. Because the world node is supposed to really be about the managing of, like, let's say it's the managing of, like, the game state. So you go in the menu and you can start like a new run, or you can continue from a new run. The NPC managers thing doesn't have to exist in that, right? It once we start the game, then we either pick up from where we left off and we pull all that data in, or we create a new like a new kind of scene tree. So how we do this? Okay, well, hold on. Okay, so in theory, what that could mean though, tracks all of its data internally. Would it do that? I think so. Yes. Globally accessible and exist in isolation. This is the thing that could be, I mean, maybe we're thinking about this in terms of, this would have to be like a static kind of, no, it doesn't exist in isolation. I mean, if the because we have to reference this kind of thing, and we're gonna, if you have systems that modify other systems' data, you should define those as their own scripts or scenes rather than autoloads. Oh, okay, it's saying this right here, guys. Right, you can fill node singleton. Right. They don't change when you go from scene to scene. Should they though? When we're talking about NPC management? Potentially, yeah. I mean, we're not, I don't think we're even gonna change. It's gonna be like one scene. Okay. Right. Resource is where we share data. Store the data in an object to which each node has access. For example, using the owner property to access the scene's root node. Okay. Then we can create static functions. You can say, combine with class name, helper functions, right? Without to create an instance, right? The limitation of static functions is that they can't reference member variables, non-static functions, or self. But I think that's fine. No, because we might be referencing non-static functions here. Yeah, NPC pool is not a static thing. So this isn't, so we're not using autoloads for this. Okay. We're getting closer here. We're getting a little closer here. Okay. I mean, okay, I see. There's static variables you can use. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. A static variable would be like not something that well still autoload is specified code systems in wide scope. The autoloader is managing its own information and not involving data of other objects. It's a great way to create systems that handle broad scope tasks. For example, quest or dialogue system. Okay. Good to know. Thank you for telling me that, because we gotta make a dialogue system next. I think if we're handling stuff within the game world that we're spawning in, it's not gonna be like a singleton, even though we're only going to have one of these like NPC manager things. We would have to, you'd have to create a wrapper that's then accessed in the main function though, because you have to access it, or can you access it as a child node? I guess it's saying that your pattern, or the best pattern, yeah, you wouldn't do a direct access kind of thing, or direct child access, I don't think, because then it would still, I mean, maybe, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. Well, we want to be able to, if we have like an NPC management class that, maybe it's because we're trying to like spawn NPCs and track NPCs in like the same class. Maybe it should be that, no, I mean, that should be fine. Yeah, because we're not actually tracking them here. We just have this pool here. But I think we'd want to. No. No, I think that the way this works right now is that this can function by we can define the NPC data and it'll work. And then it'll just create it as a sibling, right? Let's look at it like this. Let's look at it like this. If our NPC manager in spawning NPCs had to determine how many there were, I mean, that's something we could do outside of it, I guess. It just seems like a weird architecture. I don't know why. It's like, this should be simpler. I don't know why I'm making it so complicated, but it just doesn't seem. So we have two ways of doing this. We can either make it a child of our main scene, or we can make it its own thing and just load it. I think actually we'll keep it as a singleton for now, and we'll use it because right now it's just, yeah, we can keep it as a single. Why? Because I keep thinking of scenarios that like maybe that wouldn't work. Like for example, This is the kind of stuff I get stuck on. Like for example, well, for example, I guess like it doesn't feel dynamic inherently because it's when the game starts, you would load into like a menu, and then you would want like for example, when you're playing like Mega Bonk or something, like when you load into the main menu, it knows your progress already, and you can look at your progress via the menu. You don't have to hit like start game to load that, right? And it could be I mean, it is, I believe, accessing data on disk. But regardless, sometime at the start, it has to kind of like load this data in, and then the surrounding game is reactive to it, I believe. So and I don't know if it's something actually stored locally or not. I mean, I think it would have to be if it's going to be synced. I mean, it might be something that's like synced via Steam. It doesn't matter. The point is that when it loads in, it reads data from some source. And when it does that, the game state updates accordingly. It doesn't, the game state is not going to, like, if we look at it from this hierarchical structure, then it just, when these different child components, like maybe something that displays your unlocks, right? It's just going to essentially like load in from this kind of higher state or this higher kind of data, like a save data kind of thing. Like for a simple example, let's say that you just are on a position on a grid, like RuneScape or something. You load in and it remembers where you are in the world, and it has to kind of store that position somewhere, and you know, the game itself doesn't do like a bunch of checks in the beginning. It just kind of loads that in and places you somewhere. I mean, I don't actually know that that's how that works in RuneScape, but you know what I mean in the context of this. So when we're loading in, we want a kind of game manager top level thing. Our main entry point isn't necessarily that, but it is at the top level. It is essentially kind of like the root, or it's like right below the root. We can consider it the root. And I think like you could have these things that are not, that don't need, I think it would be bad to kind of have one load after the other, like in the sequence of auto loading things, because that would mean if one thing is dependent on anything else, which it inherently can't be, right? So we have to determine if this system, that our NPC management system, would be determined by any other systems in the game, or if it would interact with any other systems outside of itself, or if it's just defining functionality and data independently, and then other systems react to it. I feel like you could do either. I don't know. Hello. Hello, sweetie. You coming to help me out? Can you show me how to do this? I'm lost. Hello. It's a pickle. It is a pickle. We're in a pickle, baby. I think we're just stuck. I think we've been coding for a while now, and we need to take a look at it with fresh eyes. But the bright side is that we have something spawned in. It might not be the data that we want, but it did work to a certain extent. The next step is going to be no, it is, you know what? It is dependent on the first system, on any kind of like, yeah, I think it would be heavily dependent on other systems. I just don't think it exists in isolation. I don't think it does necessarily. I think that it would exist for, well, we're talking about isolation of other systems, but like if the scene has it as a child component, this is difficult. I don't know. I mean, the official docs are talking like, well, no, the official docs are talking like it's, you would have something the child of the world knows, child of the main node. And this, the system would be, this system we're making would be a child of the scene that we load. Or it wouldn't be, it would be just a child of the world node. It would have to be, I think, because it's going to do these things at the start of the run, which is the start of loading this kind of scene. Wait, no, it's not. No, god dang, wow, I keep going back and forth on this. This is ridiculous. What do you think? I don't know. I think that it has to be, I think that it has to, so it could be, okay, if we think of it as global, maybe the spawning functionality is not global. Right, okay, I'm sorry. The spawning functionality isn't global. I think what would maybe be global, the data is global, the data isn't global, sorry, Christ. I think I've been staring at this too long. I think I've been thinking about this too long. I think we could try it two different ways and see, or we could do some more research or look at how other people do their stuff. But I really want to do things to a like good structure that is really loosely coupled, so that we don't paint ourselves into any corners. That's kind of the whole reason we're spinning in circles about this. So it works as it is right now. Yeah, this would be global. At least the pool part. And I guess spawning it would be too. Yeah. Okay. I think it would. Because we can just, it'll just, that's something we, wait, no. Yes. No, I was thinking of the wrong thing. The NPC pool is something that's just going to be the list of all NPCs that we make and that we define. So it's going to be all that data. That's constant. That happens. No, it's not. No, it's not. Sorry. There can be a global NPC pool of every single one of them, but there also would need to be a local one. And that's the one that the spawning system is concerned about. Because when we're thinking about the future mechanics, imagine you have a system where you can unlock an NPC later in the game, right? That would inherently expand this NPC pool, okay? So that would expand the number of things that you can unlock, which inherently wouldn't be this like global immutable static thing, right? I think. And so so I think it would be something that is created with each run. It's tracked with each game that the player plays, and it can expand or shrink based on different things. So what we do is at the beginning of each day in this kind of cycle, which could be managed by it's all coming together, which could be managed by it would be managed by like a parent scene that is a singleton, and then it would, yeah, it has to be managed through something above it. It can't be just accessed statically, right? So it has to have something above it that instantiates it on the creation of a new game and then tracks it. In the spawning logic, while it just needs data, right? It needs to know, okay, for this but the thing is that it doesn't just need data. It's going to have an initial group of NPCs like the ones that we're going to use. It's going to have an initial group that will then be chosen from, but can be expanded upon based on how the game continues, right? Based on what you unlock. If you unlock a new NPC, they can then be chosen at random to come through that door at the start of each day. But that sounds like a system that's inherently dependent on another system, on a parent system. So that's what we'll do. I think that we're on course here. We'll change that real quick. We'll try to implement it this way. That's what we'll do. So what we're gonna do is actually change this. We're going to first go into project settings, and we're gonna just remove this. We'll keep main in, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really need to be, but whatever. Main is too generic. So is world, but whatever. We need to be more specific. But we were just following a suggested architecture. So we're gonna close this, and then we're going to go to the scripts, and we're gonna close down that. And in our, we're gonna maybe we'll leave that as is, I guess. Right. Or we it would be kind of considered a singleton, so we'll leave it in here. We'll rename this to NPC manager, right? Okay. And then for NPC manager, we're going to can just be a node. I guess it doesn't have to be a node 3D. Hi, baby. And then what we'll do is we'll define a class name, maybe PC manager. We'll try that. That'll make that this inherently global, but I think that, oh yeah, no, then I guess we'll just say extends node for now. And we're going to rename this here. Or what is this? Oh yeah, this is this right here. We're going to rename this to NPC manager. Alright. Okay. Actually, I'm sorry, this doesn't have to be here. We can remove that. We can go back here in our main guy. We're gonna actually close out of these. Guess I don't save that for now. We didn't have to do that, but whatever. We're just gonna close out, and we're gonna open this, open that. I don't really know why the icons always break, but whenever I do anything, but that's okay. Since we're loading this in like this, we're gonna rename this. I don't really like this name. Or I'm sorry, this isn't what we're gonna use. We're just gonna leave this alone. In our systems, for now, for now, it's hard to know in advance what you gotta do. I think that what's throwing me off is like, okay, what do we need right now? That's what I need to do. Jesus, you scared me too. What we need to do right now is, honey, that was just a hanger that fell down. Both of the cats just like freaked out. What we need to do, we've got our entry point. Okay, so our main entry point is going to be the thing that like actually just like loads in our data later on, or is and it's going to have all of the other systems as children, right? Okay. Because we want to keep we'll do this. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to delete this. Remove. Bye-bye. Okay. Bye-bye. Alright. We need to focus on what we're doing right now, which is the NPC stuff. So, all these NPC right here, we're going to delete this. Remove. Now, remove. Okay. So an NPC manager, we're gonna rename this to systems because I don't like it. I'm just gonna rename that to systems. We'll do the same thing up here. Okay. And yeah. So now we're going to have a top level system called our manager, right? We call it game manager. And it's gonna keep track of all our systems. Because this won't be the highest level thing. Okay? This won't be the highest level thing. This will manage the individual, well, no, it could, because it could load progress, I guess. We're gonna come back to this. We're too burnt out. We're too dead.